Hello and welcome back. Right, today we're going to be doing, starting off a little series really. I'm going to be going through the base monsters in Dauntless. We're going to be starting off with Gnasher. Going to be giving you my experiences, my feelings, sort of like a tutorial. Now, I do want to start off by saying that I am no way a pro at this game. I would say I'm pretty average. I would also like to point out that I have pretty high-end gear. Now, the reason I'm doing it with higher-end gear is to speed up the process, as it were. Now, when you find the monster, it's normally general etiquette to set off a flare, which you can set to your 4 button. I like to set it off a few times just to make sure people do have an accurate count of where the hell it is. Now, like I said, we are doing a rogue Gnasher, which is probably one of the first monsters you will ever come across, which in essence is a giant beaver that likes to do roly-polies. Now, the tactic I have employed with a rogue Gnasher is basically try and constantly circle it going around to the left, clockwise. That way, when it does these roly-polies and it rolls back over, you are in front of it, so that if you're using something like an axe, which is what I like to use when fighting this bloody beaver, I can sit there, do a charge attack, and it walks into it. On occasion it likes to do a little bit of a tail spin, which is quite easily dodged, although I have to admit there have been a few times in this particular clip where it should have hit me. You might have noticed there's a few times when I've just walked through the tail. Welcome to beta, people. Like that should have hit me, but it didn't, so I'm not going to argue. Anyway, yeah, you just keep circling around to the left, it does a roly-poly, it comes back round to you, you can give it a nice big slap, and you just keep walking around to the left. Now, if you are going to use an axe with this guy, which is what I recommend because that's what I use, you need to keep an eye on your stamina. If that means you need to skip a roly-poly, that means you have to skip a roly-poly. It's always better to have stamina so you can do follow-up attacks like I've just done there, than it does meaning you're going to get hit. Because there's a really annoying thing with Gnasher. Once he hits you, he just basically stun locks you, and he can just constantly hit and hit and hit, particularly with his tail slam, and especially when he gets into higher levels and he gets a rage mode, which he just attacks more frequently and attacks faster. Well, really though, Gnasher is probably the easiest monster, which is one of the reasons why I'm starting off with it. I'm going to go through all of the base level monsters to start off with, up to when the game is actually released as open beta, and then I might continue on with other monsters. For the moment, I'm just going to stick it with the base monsters. I don't really want to spoil the surprise. There's plenty of streamers out there that have been able to show a variety of the monsters out there at the moment, but I kind of wanted to give like a little bit of tutorial on how some of them work. So I'll be starting that off with just the base ones, and to be honest, Gnasher is just completely easy. Just keep walking around in a circle. When he stops, give him a few hits. Make sure the circle is to the left. Like you see, I'm out of stamina now, so I'm just going to give myself a little bit of a walk around. Stay out of his way, wait for the stamina to regen. Eventually he'll go back to doing a roly-poly. Here we go, roly-poly. He'll move back around. I'm already charging my attack. He's going to take a slap to the grid. He falls over. I go back in with more charge attacks, which pretty darn easy. Now, annoyingly, I actually find Gnasher easier solo, and if you're going to employ the technique that I am using here, you probably will as well, because once you get more people involved and added into the equation, his attacks become more erratic and harder to predict. When it's just you, he basically goes roly-poly, roly-poly, tail slam, maybe spins around to try and stack with his tail, goes back to doing roly-polies. He is bloody easy to predict when solo. When you add more people in, like I said, it becomes more erratic, because he won't always be going for you, he'll be going for someone else. He might do a roly-poly off in the different direction, but if you fancy getting into this game when it comes out into open beta, or if you're just struggling when in closed beta, there are easy as hell ways to do pretty much all of the monsters using their own simplified mechanics to actually just walk through them, essentially. I prefer axes and war pikes personally, so I'll be doing pretty much all of my tutorials using one of those two weapons. And in general, it's a pretty simple game, just kill the bloody thing, really. Anyway, that is me. There's not really too much to say about this tutorial, just keep walking around in a circle and slapping when you see him opening. Anyway, like I said, that's me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you pretty darn soon. Ta-ra!